Audrey Rose is a horror thriller drama film that was released in 1977, and this was directed by Robert Wise. This stars Anthony Hopkins and Susan Swift. And basically, what this is about is streaming on Tubi, first of all, which I just decided randomly to watch, and the premise seemed interesting, and I really ended up liking this. And it's basically about Anthony Hopkins' character who runs into this family. They have a daughter, this mom, dad, and daughter. The daughter is named Ivy Templeton. She's played by Susan Swift. And she is like 12 or 13 or something like that. Very preteen, very young girl. And Anthony Hopkins basically takes an obsession to this girl, swearing that she is the reincarnation of his deceased daughter, who was in an accident at the beginning of the film, whose name was Audrey Rose. Now, Anthony Hopkins, as soon as he lays eyes on this girl, swears that this girl is the reincarnation of Audrey Rose to every single detail and mannerism and everything. And he really just inserts himself into the family, the mom and dad, who are taken into shock and non-belief, and just thinks the whole situation is scary and ridiculous, as anybody would, kind of thing. Now, the father is very, very atheist, very non-believing, but the mother is somewhat spiritual, and I don't know if she's religious or not, but she's certainly more open-minded. And it's the film basically, it just is Anthony Hopkins just basically stalking the family, for lack of a better word, the way he goes about everything. And things get kind of disturbing and scary, but it plays on more like a drama. Like, it's not super horror per se. I mean, there's some horrific elements to it, but this was, I don't know if I mentioned this already, it was released by Arrow, which I certainly want to get the DVD because I really was taken aback by this film and really surprised by it. The script is phenomenal. I think it's written very well. It's a very intelligent film. Of course, it asks a lot of questions, but it also puts you in a what would you do kind of position while watching the film. And Anthony Hopkins kills it, as he always does. This predates Elephant Man, which, Anthony Hopkins is most famous and always will be most famous for Silence of the Lambs, no question. And then Elephant Man was released in 1980. Great film, phenomenal film. If you haven't seen The Elephant Man, go check that out with Anthony Hopkins. And this was 77, so this was 3 years before. So the guy's in his like early 40s or something like that. And does a really, really good job and very convincing. And it does leave you with questions at the end of the film. It doesn't answer much. It's kind of, what do you think? Uh, the ending is definitely bleak, I will say. Like, thinking back, like, I didn't expect the ending to go where it did. It's a downer. It's not anything you know upbeat or happy or giddy or bubbly or anything like that. It's a sad film, and if you like questions answered by the end of it, if you like your films to conclude in like wrapped up, you know, bows and themes and with everything kind of told to you and everything finished off, concluded kind of thing. It's not really that kind of film. Although there is technically a conclusion, it's not like all your questions are answered and you know exactly what happens kind of thing. But yeah, it's a really, really well written film and really well acted, and a really interesting plot, and something that took me by surprise, like I said, because I never really heard of this film at all. I think I've heard like the name Audrey Rose maybe in passing, but I never I've never seen a poster of this film until very recently when I saw it on Tubi, and I never knew who was in it. It's not a film that I've heard really talked about, and I find that really interesting, especially since Arrow put it out. Another Australian company put it out, and I was looking on eBay for like who released this film. But yeah, for those big companies to be putting something like this out for, I don't know how big it is in the horror community because it's not really a horror film per se, but it's it, it's I'd say it's an underrated film because it's certainly a film that lots of people have heard of. I mean, it's talked about, But just because I haven't heard of it doesn't mean it's not, known in the community. But I really liked it, and it took me by surprise, and it's free on Tubi. So I highly suggest going to Tubi and checking it out if it sounds up your alley, because it's worth it for the performances and for the discussions that a film like this can create. So I certainly 100% will be buying it, like I said, and it's one to be sought after. So check out Audrey Rose if you can. I mean, Tubi's free, so why not? And subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. The channel's always free as well. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.